That autumn morning, the air was crisp and the leaves outside my kitchen window glowed amber in the dawn. I sat in my old rocking chair, the one my wife Clara and I chose when our daughter was born, its familiar creak a comfort I didn't know I'd lose by nightfall. This was our home, built with my calloused hands, where my kids' laughter once bounced off walls etched with 50 years of love and loss. But that day, a letter from a realtor, tucked under a stack of bills, shattered everything. My own children, Sarah and Michael, sold it. Without a word to me, the betrayal hit like a punch to the gut. My hand shook as I traced the deed's cold print, picturing Sarah's stubborn frown, Michael's evasive eyes. This wasn't just a house. It was the backyard where I taught Sarah to ride a bike, her squeals ringing through summer dusk. It was the dining table where Michael carved his initials, smirking when I scolded him. Those walls held our story. Clara's soft humming, our fights, our forgiveness. Now strangers own it. How do you grieve a home? How do you look at your kids and not see strangers? There's a raw ache in my chest, a mix of rage and disbelief, but a whisper of hope lingers. Why hide this from me? Did they think my old heart couldn't take it? Or is there a secret buried deeper, something in that letter I haven't yet dared to face? I need answers even if they break me. This is my journey, a father picking up the pieces of a fractured family. If you've ever lost something that felt like your very soul, join me. Share your story in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to uncover the truth with me, because some wounds only heal when you face them head-on. That autumn morning, the air bit my lungs, sharp and cold, as amber leaves danced outside my kitchen window. I sat in Clara's old rocking chair, its creak a lullaby from when we were young parents, dreaming big. The coffee in my mug was still warm, steam curling, like a memory of her humming in this very room. Then I saw it, a realtor's letter, half buried under a stack of bills, its crisp edges mocking the warmth of my home. My kids, Sarah and Michael, had sold it. Our home, my home, without a whisper to me. My chest tightened, the air too thin to breathe. My fingers trembled as I traced their names on the deed transfer, the ink cold as betrayal, Sarah's bold cursive, Michael's hesitant scrawl. They'd done this together in secret. I grabbed my phone, dialing Sarah, but her voicemail answered, her laugh bright and cruel, a ghost from happier days. It twisted my heart, sharp as a knife. Michael's number was worse, disconnected, dead for months, I realized, my throat closing with panic. How had I missed this? How had my own kids become strangers? I stumbled to the backyard, the grass damp under my boots. The swing hung still, rusted, where Sarah's giggles once filled summer evenings. I could almost hear her, 5 years old, shrieking as I pushed her higher. Now it was silent, accusing. A neighbor waved from across the fence, his smile too, easy too knowing. How long had they all known? My face burned with shame, the weight of their pity crushing me. I was a fool, blind in my own home. Back inside, dusk settled, painting the kitchen in shadows. I opened Clara's recipe box, seeking her warmth in faded handwriting, her meatloaf, her apple pie. Instead, a folded note. Dad, we're sorry. It's for your own good. Sarah's writing, but Michael's hesitation in the uneven lines. Sorry? For what? The words seared, each one a spark to the rage building in my chest. What could justify this? Selling the house where Clara nursed them through fevers, where we fought and forgave, where I rebuilt myself after her death. The house was too quiet that night, its walls holding their breath, waiting for me to crack. I sat in the dark, the letter and note side by side, my coffee cold. Every creak of the floorboards felt like a warning, every shadow a secret. Why hadn't they told me? Was it shame, fear, or something darker? I thought of Clara, her soft smile, her secrets. Had she known something I didn't? The thought gnawed at me, a splinter under my skin. I couldn't sleep, the silence deafening. My home, our home, was slipping away, and I was left grasping at ghosts. Sarah's laugh, Michael's sullen teenage stares, Clara's humming. They lived here, in these walls, but now they felt like intruders. I clutched the note. Its words a riddle I wasn't ready to solve. But I would. I had to. If this betrayal has ever touched your life, share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe. Because some truths hurt worse than lies, and I'm just starting to unravel them. The next morning, my home felt wrong, like a stranger wearing Clara's face. I wandered its halls, tracing cracks in the plaster, each one a scar from our life. Michael's tantrums, Sarah's teenage tears. These walls held us together, but now they mocked me, whispering secrets I couldn't hear. My kids had sold this place my anchor, and I needed to know why. Their absence was a wound, raw and bleeding, and I was picking at it, desperate for answers. Under Sarah's old bed, I found her diary, its pages yellowed, edges curling like dying leaves. The last entry stopped mid-sentence, a carved circle scratched into the paper, a jagged, uneven mark that made my skin prickle. What did it mean? A memory crashed in. Michael at 16, slamming the door after I'd yelled about his failing grades, my voice sharp with disappointment. Had I pushed him too far? Had my anger built this wall between us? The thought sat heavy, a stone in my gut. I drove to the realtor's office, the town blurring past. Familiar streets now alien. The agent, a woman with a tight smile, offered nothing but client confidentiality. Her eyes flicked away, hiding something. Back home, I noticed a new lock on the attic door, its brass gleaming, out of place in our worn house. When had it appeared? My pulse quickened, the air thick with questions. Was this my kid's doing or someone else's? That night, my phone buzzed, the screen glowing in the dark. Stop looking, Dad. Unknown number. My heart stopped. Was Sarah? Her voice sharp with warning. Michael, his guilt finally spilling over? I stared at the message, my hands cold. The house creaked around me, its walls pressing in, alive with secrets I wasn't sure I wanted to know. But stopping wasn't an option. Not when my home, my past, was slipping through my fingers. I sat in Clara's chair, the creak softer now, like it was grieving too. I thought of her, stirring soup in the kitchen, her laugh filling the silence. Had she seen this coming? The diary's circle haunted me, a symbol I couldn't place but felt in my bones. Was it a warning, a signature, or something worse? I traced the walls again, feeling their weight, their judgment. This house wasn't just wood and plaster. It was us, and my kids had torn it away. Sleep wouldn't come. The note from the recipe box, "It's for your own good," burned in my mind, its words a puzzle with missing pieces. Why protect me with silence? Why hide from their own father? I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the house only whispered back, its secrets locked tighter than that attic door. If you've ever felt your world shift under your feet, tell me in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow me as I chase the truth. Because these walls know more than they're saying, and I'm not stopping until they speak. I couldn't wait any longer. The attic lock gleamed, a challenge, and I grabbed a crowbar, my hands shaking with purpose. The wood splintered, dust swirling in my flashlight's beam like ghosts waking up. Clara's boxes sat in the shadows, touched for years. Letters, photos, pieces of her my kids had hidden. Were they protecting me or themselves? The air was thick, heavy with secrets, and my heart pounded. Each beat a question I was scared to answer. I found a photo first. Clara, radiant, her arm looped through a stranger's. His smile was sharp, unfamiliar, and my stomach churned, jealousy and dread mixing like poison. Who was he? Then a letter to Sarah, dated a year before Clara's death. He can't know yet, it'll break him. Her handwriting, so familiar, felt like a betrayal. I called Ellen, my sister, my voice raw, but she dodged me, her words tight, like she was holding her breath. "Tom, let it go," she said. I hung up, her fear fueling mine. In another box, a bank statement, large withdrawals, Sarah's name, my account. My hands shook, the paper crinkling. When had she done this? Why? The attic closed in, dust stinging my eyes. Or maybe that was tears. The doorbell shattered the silence at midnight, sharp and jarring. I crept downstairs, heart in my throat, but no one was there. Just a key on the mat, etched with that carved circle from Sarah's diary. My knees buckled. What was this game? I sank to the attic floor, the photo and letter beside me, Clara's secrets piling up like the dust. Had she lied to me our whole marriage? I saw her in my mind laughing in the kitchen, but now her smile felt like a mask. The circle symbol burned in my thoughts. Was it a code? A threat? My kids knew something, and they'd chosen silence over. The betrayal cut deeper than the house's loss, a blade twisting in my chest. I clutched the key, its edges biting my palm. It didn't fit any lock in the house. I'd tried. It was a taunt, a piece of their puzzle. I wanted to scream at Sarah, at Michael, to demand why they'd turned our home into a stranger's. But the attic silence was louder, its shadows holding answers I wasn't ready for. Clara's letter echoed. He can't know. No. What? My heart ached, torn between love and rage. When does love become a lie? I need to know I'm not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe. Because I'm standing in the dust of my past, and every step forward feels like falling. The truth is up here, somewhere, and I'm not stopping until I find it. Clara's photo haunted me, the stranger's arm around her a splinter in my mind. I drove to the library, hands gripping the wheel, the town's familiar streets now foreign. My kids sold our home, but was this man the key? The library smelled of old paper, its quiet oppressive. I dug through records, my fingers smudged with ink, desperate to name him. Every page turned felt like peeling back Clara's skin, exposing secrets I wasn't sure I could face. A librarian, her glasses slipping, leaned over. That's John Carver, she whispered, pointing to his face in an old article. A developer vanished after a shady land deal, tied to my property. My pulse raced, the room tilting. Clara's letter mentioned John's promise. What had she promised him? Back home, I tore through her letters again, finding one that cut deeper. John will fix it, but it's dangerous. My chest tightened. Had she tangled us in his web? Sarah called as I sat among the papers, her voice sharp, almost panicked. Dad, you're digging too deep, stop. She hung up before I could speak, her words a warning I couldn't ignore. In Clara's jewelry box, I found a hidden compartment, a deed fragment, our address in Carver's name. My hands shook, the paper crinkling like my crumbling world. Was this why they sold the house? To bury Clara's past? That night the house creaked, but not from my steps. Slow, deliberate footsteps echoed downstairs, each one a hammer to my heart. I froze, clutching the deed fragment, my breath shallow. The darkness felt alive, watching me. I crept to the stairs, but the sound stopped, leaving only silence and my racing pulse. Who was in my house? Sarah's warning rang in my ears, but I couldn't stop. Not now. I sat in Clara's chair, the creak of faint comfort. But even that felt wrong. Carver's name, that circle symbol. They were everywhere, tying my family to a man I'd never met. I saw Clara's face in my mind, her smile soft but guarded. Had she known him before me? The thought twisted like a knife, jealousy mixing with grief. My kids were hiding something, but so was she, and the house held it all, its walls closing. The deed fragment lay on the table, a piece of the puzzle I didn't want to solve but had to. Why had Sarah sounded so scared? Was Michael part of this too? I needed answers even if they broke me. If you've ever chased a truth that scared you, share it below, hit that like button, and subscribe, because I'm walking a tightrope over my past and every step feels like it could be my last. The key from the doorstep burned in my palm, its carved circle a taunt I couldn't ignore. I tried every lock in the house, front door, back door, cabinets, nothing fit. It was a riddle, and my kids were pulling the strings. My hands shook, the metal cold against my skin, as if it held a truth I wasn't ready for. The house felt like a cage, its walls watching, judging. I was unraveling and they knew it. I drove to Sarah's apartment, the key in my pocket, its weight heavier than the dread in my chest. She opened the door, her eyes flashing fear before she slammed it shut. "Leave it alone, Dad," she shouted through the wood. That fear, it wasn't anger, it was terror. My heart twisted. What scared her so much? Back home, a text from Michael. Old Mill, midnight, alone. I hadn't seen him in a year. His absence a hole I'd ignored too long. The mill was a skeleton of rotting wood, the air damp and sour. Michael stood in the shadows, gaunt, his eyes darting. "We sold it to keep you safe," he whispered, his voice breaking. Before I could ask more, he bolted into the dark, leaving me with his words and my fear. At home, Clara's box held another letter. "Carver's debt will take everything unless we pay." Our home, collateral. My knees buckled, the truth sinking in. Driving back, headlights glared in my rear view, too close, weaving through the empty streets. My pulse hammered as the car followed, then vanished into the night. I gripped the wheel, sweat beading on my forehead. Was it Carver's? People? The key led me to a bank, fitting a safety deposit box. I stood frozen, the clerk watching, my heart screaming not to open it. What if the truth was worse than the betrayal? Clara's chair creaked as I sat, the key on the table, its circle staring like an eye. I saw Sarah's fear, Michael's haunted face, Clara's handwriting promising ruin. They'd sold our home to protect me, but from what? The house was silent, but its shadows moved, whispering of dangers I couldn't see. I wanted to scream at my kids, to demand why they'd chosen silence over me, but their fear stopped me, cold. How far would you go to protect someone you love, even if it meant breaking them? Share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe. I'm holding a key to a truth I'm terrified to unlock, but I can't turn back now. The answers are close and they're tearing me apart. I stood before the safety deposit box, the key's carved circle biting my palm. My pulse was a drum, loud and relentless, as the clerk slid the box toward me. I opened it, my breath shallow, and found documents, mortgages, liens, all stamped with John Carver's name. Clara's signature stared back, each loop a betrayal. My wife, my home, my kids tangled in a web I'd never seen. The bank's fluorescent lights buzzed, and I felt the walls closing in. The clerk's eyes darted. "Carver's people don't like loose ends," she whispered, then turned away. I found a photo inside. Sarah and Michael with Carver taken after Clara's death. My stomach dropped, the image blurring as my eyes burned. When had they met him? Why? I called Ellen, my voice cracking. She broke, her words spilling. Clara borrowed from Carver to save our home when I was sick. A secret she buried to spare me. I clutched the phone, my world tilting. Back home, my front door was ajar, papers scattered across the floor like fallen leaves. Someone had been here, their presence a violation. My hands shook as I gathered Clara's letters, her promises. To Carver now a noose around my family. Michael's call came then, brief and desperate. "It's bigger than us, Dad." The line went dead, his voice echoing in the silence. Then a voicemail from an unknown number. "Drop it, or you lose everything." I sank into Clara's chair. The creak a faint echo of her. The documents lay before me, each one a piece of her betrayal. She'd saved our home, but at what cost? Sarah's fear, Michael's gaunt face. They were paying for her choices. The carved circle from the key, the diary, stared from the photo, tying everything to Carver. Was he still out there, pulling strings? The thought chilled me, my skin prickling with fear. The house felt alive, its shadows shifting, whispering of dangers I couldn't name. I saw Clara in my mind, her eyes soft but guarded, hiding this debt, this shame. My kids had sold our home to protect me, but their silence cut deeper than the loss. Anger surged, but fear clawed harder. I was losing them, and I couldn't stop it. The voicemail's threat lingered, a blade at my throat. What do you do when the truth threatens to destroy everything you love? Share your thoughts below, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm holding secrets that aren't mine, and they're tearing my family apart. I need to know what's next, even if it breaks me. Carver's old office loomed, its boarded windows like closed eyes, hiding truths I needed. I pushed inside, the air thick with dust and decay, my flashlight cutting through the dark. My kids were drowning in Clara's secrets, and I'd tear this place apart to save them. The house, our house, was gone, but its ghosts lived here, in files and shadows, and I was chasing them, heart pounding, hands unsteady. I found files in a rusted cabinet, my home listed as collateral for Clara's loan, her signature shaky, desperate. My breath caught, a memory slamming into me. Clara crying at night, whispering, "I'll fix this, Tom." I thought she meant our fights, our struggles. Now I saw her fear, her sacrifice. Sarah appeared then, her face streaked with tears. "They threatened us, Dad," she said, voice breaking. "We had no choice." Carver's men, still circling, still dangerous. She wouldn't say more. She mentioned they, her eyes darting like Michael's at the mill. I found a burner phone in a drawer. It's only contact Michael's number. My heart sank. He was deeper in this than I'd feared. Back home, my car's side mirror was smashed, that carved circle scratched into the glass, a warning that chilled my bones. The house creaked around me, its walls heavy with secrets, as if Clara herself was watching, pleading for me to stop. I sat in her chair, the creak softer, fading. Sarah's tears, Michael's number. They were trapped just like me. The files painted a picture, Clara's debt, our home as collateral, Carver's men refusing to let go. I saw her in my mind, her hands trembling as she signed, thinking she was saving us. But she'd tied us to a monster, and my kids were paying the price. My chest ached, rage and grief colliding. The circle symbol was everywhere. Diary, key, now my car. It was Carver's mark, a brand on my family. Sarah's words echoed no choice. But what hold did these men have? I wanted to shake her, to demand the full truth, but her fear stopped me. The house felt alive, its shadows shifting, whispering of dangers closing in. I was close, too close, and it terrified me. When do you stop digging, even when the truth could destroy you? Share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe. I'm walking through shadows, and every step pulls me deeper into a past I can't escape. I met Michael in a diner, its fluorescent buzz matching his jittery eyes. He looked like a stranger, hollowed out, confessing. Carver's men forced the sale to clear Clara's debt, but his silence screamed more, his hands fidgeting with a napkin. I leaned in, desperate, but he wouldn't meet my gaze. The truth was there, just out of reach, and I was teetering on the edge of losing him forever. He slid a photo across the table, a man outside our house, watching, his face shadowed but menacing. "They're not done, Dad," Michael whispered, his voice cracking. My heart pounded, Clara's last days flooding back, her whispers of fixing things. Had she known about these men? Sarah texted as I sat there, her words stark. "Stop, Dad, they'll hurt you." Her fear was a mirror of Michael's, a warning I couldn't ignore. At home, I found Clara's old laptop, its battery barely alive. An email dated before her death mentioned a final payment to Carver. My stomach twisted. Had she tried to end this? Then I noticed a chair in the living room moved just an inch, but I hadn't touched it. My breath caught. The house's silence deafening. Someone had been here, leaving no trace but that shift, a quiet threat that chilled me. I called Ellen, my voice shaking. She admitted knowing about the debt but swore she didn't know its depth. Her hesitation felt like a lie, another crack in my trust. The diner's buzz lingered in my mind. Michael's haunted face, Sarah's desperate text. They were protecting me, but at what cost? The carved circle, on the key, the diary, my car, tied them to Carver, to this nightmare. I sat in Clara's chair, its creak a faint pulse. The email glowed on the screen, Clara's words a ghost. She'd fought for us, but her fight had chained my kids to monsters. I saw Michael's trembling hands, Sarah's slammed door. They were scared, not just for me, but for themselves. My chest ached, torn between love and rage. How had we come to this, hiding from each other? When does trust become a trap? Theory. Your thoughts below. Hit that like button and subscribe. I'm standing on the edge and the truth is pulling me under. I need to know what's next, even if it breaks us all. I opened another bank box, Clara's name on the label, my hands trembling. Inside, her confession, shaky handwriting, raw with guilt. She'd borrowed from Carver to save our home when I was sick, a secret to spare me pain. It spiraled, and she couldn't stop it. My kids sold the house to shield me from the fallout. I sank to the bank's cold floor, her words a weight crushing my chest, tearing open wounds I thought had healed. Documents showed Carver's men wanted the land for a bigger scheme: development, money, power. Sarah called, sobbing, admitting. They sold it to stop threats against me. Her voice broke, each word a plea for forgiveness. Michael confessed next, his call brief. He'd worked with Carver's men, buying time, hating himself. I clutched the phone, my throat tight. They'd betrayed me to save me, and it hurt worse than the loss. I tracked the watcher from Michael's photo to a warehouse, his sneer chilling. "You're too late, old man," he said, laughing as he walked away. My fists clenched, but fear held me back. At home, Clara's final letter waited. "Tom, forgive them, they're saving you." Her words were a knife, twisting love and betrayal together. The police stormed in hours later, tipped off about Carver's network, their sirens. A jolt to my frayed nerves, but my kids were gone. The house was silent, its walls bare, but Clara's confession echoed. She'd carried this alone, her love a burden that broke us. I saw Sarah's tears, Michael's guilt. They'd shouldered her debt, her shame to protect me. The carved circle haunted me, a mark of Carver's hold, now broken but not erased. My heart bled, not for the house but for them, lost to me in a different way. I sat in Clara's chair, the creak gone like her. The police had one of Carver's men, but my kids were in hiding, their fear a wall between us. I wanted to scream, to pull them back, but Clara's words held me. Forgive. I wasn't there yet, but I could feel it, a flicker of understanding in the pain. The house was lost, but my family wasn't. Not if I could find them. Can you forgive a betrayal born of love? Share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe. I'm searching for my kids, for our truth, and I need you with me as I face what's left. The house stood empty, its walls bare, the air heavy with absence. Clara's chair was silent, its creak stolen with the rest of my home. Sarah and Michael were in hiding, the police closing in on Carver's men. Clara's letter burned in my pocket. Forgive them. Their love, warped by fear, had driven their silence, and I stood in the wreckage, angry, heartbroken, but seeing it now, their sacrifice. I'd lost my home, but my kids were still mine. I found Sarah at a motel, the neon sign buzzing in the dusk. Her eyes were red, her hug fierce, no words needed. We held each other, the weight of our choices heavy but shared. Michael called later, his voice breaking. "I'll come back, Dad, when it's safe." His guilt was a mirror of mine, and I whispered, "I know," hoping he heard my love. The police arrested Carver's thug, the land scheme unraveling. My home was gone, but free from his shadow. In my new apartment, I hung Clara's photo, her letter beside it, a quiet anchor. The walls were plain, unfamiliar, but they held me, a new start. I wrote to my kids, "We'll build a new home, together." The words felt fragile but true. That night I dreamed of Clara, her humming, soft, forgiving, guiding me forward. Her love had broken us, but it was also the glue to mend us. The carved circle lingered in my mind, a scar of this nightmare, but it was fading. Sarah's hug, Michael's promise, they were my home now, not walls or memories, but the messy, scarred love we shared. I walked through the old house one last time, touching the doorway where Clara carved our initials, a secret we'd laughed over. It wasn't mine anymore, but it had held us, and that was enough. I stood in my apartment, the city humming outside. The pain was still there, a dull ache, but so was hope, fragile but growing. My kids had betrayed me to save me, and I was learning to forgive, to rebuild. Clara's voice in my dreams promised we'd be okay, and I believed her, for the first time in years. Home wasn't a place, it was us wherever we landed. What does home mean to you when everything else is gone? Share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe. I'm rebuilding with my family, one shaky step at a time, and I want you with me. Because some truths shatter, but they also heal, and I'm holding on to that.